There's a lot of questions that throughout the years you'll see repeated over and over on r/askreddit. Questions like, hey, what songs are on your workout playlist? Oh, what's that, Radiohead and the Beatles? You must be absolutely shredded. Hey Reddit, what are some gosh darn heckin' secret life hacks? To which someone always responds, you know, if you want to get fresh fries at a fast food place, you ask for no salt. Then they have to go and make an entire fresh batch just for you because, you know, there's nothing that makes you feel more like a king than making a minimum wage fast food employee's day just a little bit more tedious so you can act like a gourmet over the bottom of the barrel lowest tier of food. Not to mention that soggy old french fries are way better, and you know, if you put the salt on after they make it, it's a totally different flavor experience, but I'm not here to talk about french fries today. Very much the opposite. A much more interesting recurring thread on askreddit is one that asks, what is a secret that if it came out would ruin your life? I find that these types of threads tend to offer a lot more variety as people most of the time will actually post things that really happened to them, or you know, stuff they came up with and not just reposts for karma. And it was one of these threads 7 years ago that would introduce the internet to one of its most legendary cum artifacts that I guess I've been collecting like Dracula's body parts in Castlevania 2. This is the legend of the Reddit Cumbox. The legend of the Cumbox begins with a thread created by a user named Oh Gosh Where to Begin. Throwaway time, what's your secret that could literally ruin your life if it came out? I decided to post this partially because I'm interested in reaction to this, as I've never told anyone before, and also to see what out there fucked up things you've done. The sort of things that make you question your own sanity, your own worth. Surely I can't be alone. And it's clear from the edits that this would become a particularly popular thread. 4,700 comments, 12,900 upvotes. You're all a part of Reddit history right here. Thanks everyone for your contributions. You've made this what it is. This is my secret. What's yours? And that link is now dead and hasn't been archived, so we'll never know what his secret was, but I have a feeling that it doesn't top what came in this thread. And although this thread would achieve legendary status mostly due to the presence of the Cumbox post actually wasn't the top voted response. There were several that came ahead of it, such as, I once helped out a female friend's family by taking care of their cat for a week. Every day for a week, I would go over there and snoop around their house. I found my friend's diary and proceeded to read the entire thing. I used this information to get her to like me, and she is currently my wife. The fucked up irony of this post is, I think there's a good chance that perhaps his wife actually likes him for who he is, and he's just convinced himself that he learned some trick in this diary that unlocked the key to everything. This is literally the juiciest secret in this thread for some reason. Not totally bland, but not overly obscene. Probably because this is something I can actually picture any person doing if given the chance. And while it is juicy in a different way, I guess, because, you know, so much of these people's lives is potentially built on the foundation of a lie, it's not literally the most juicy. Take, for example, I once took a shit in a bathtub, and then realizing what a horrible mistake I made, I flung poo into a hole in the wall. My parents renovated and patched up the hole. So now, there is a 15-year-old turd in between the bathroom and kitchen wall of my childhood home. Not even using a throwaway, because I have no shame. It reminds me of that movie The Gate and how I used to be afraid to go close to a wall because there's that part where one of the guys who built the house died, so they sealed him inside of the wall, and when the kids unlock the gates of the hell, the dead construction worker reaches out and tries to grab them, except instead of a dead construction worker, it's poo. Well, it's more of a secret to my friends that I've made recently. Some background first. I don't like being touched or hugged, and I'm incredibly uncomfortable with intimacy in general. When I was in 8th grade, a bunch of girls in my class convinced me they had a friend who fancied me. They said she had seen me somewhere and thought I was cute. Faked the MSN account, and they talked to me every night for a few months. Invited me out to the movies, and obviously didn't show up. Then revealed the whole grade that I had been tricked into having an imaginary girlfriend. I was mocked viciously by everyone in the grade, and ever since then I can't really trust women. I also can't believe that a girl may have feelings for me. Even when they explicitly tell me they have feelings for me, I can't help but feel like they're trying to trick me. It's caused a lot of insecurity, and I can't get attached to people easily. I'm terribly afraid to text or message people first because I'm convinced I would be annoying them. What's worse is that when I think about it, I know it probably isn't true, but I can't help but feel like it is. Even though it was grade 8, it was around the time when attraction to women was starting to get real, so to be heard at a time as delicate as that has really done some damage. The secret, of course, is that I had been dumb enough to be tricked. As you might suspect, the whole thing has left me afraid of being vulnerable. To have this found out by my newer friends, as in university friends, would put me in a really uncomfortable place. I probably wouldn't be able to be their friend anymore. Thanks for reading. You're the first people I've told about what this event has actually done to me. And it's crazy to think how we get hung up on these obscure childhood things that really wouldn't mean all that much to anybody. I mean, think about it. You tell a bunch of adults, as an adult, that when you were in 8th grade, you got tricked into thinking you had an imaginary girlfriend. Like, I don't think anybody would realistically hold that against you, but at the same time, it's one of those things that we all have where nobody would realistically, rationally care about it, but we still lose sleep at it. But this particular story does have a happy ending. Edit. I know people still read this thread, so I felt I should come back and that I owed people an update. I've met such a fantastic woman, someone who makes me incredibly happy. I love her very much, she loves me, and she's helping me get used to the idea of feeling valuable and trusting people. Or at least one person. She's the best thing that's happened to me in a long time, maybe ever. I'm glad I got to come back to this post and finish it off with a happy ending. To all the people in the comments who were kind to me or who share their own similar experiences, you're always valuable and someone will notice. Kinda makes you feel fuzzy on the inside, doesn't it? Well, time to feel not so fuzzy, because now we're up to the Cumbox story. Posted by a now deleted user named Linfect. Cousin died when we were both 17. There was a reception at his house just after the funeral. I went into his room and stole all the money that was there. Took some other valuables that his parents wouldn't realize were gone. No one knows that I did it. They just assumed he didn't have any money in his room. Only loose change. I don't regret it, but I will never admit I did it. Also my Cumbox. Dummy thing, but how the fuck do you just say Cumbox like everybody knows what a Cumbox is? At least, 7 years ago before the term entered the general vernacular, because of you. Elaborate on this Cumbox, please. Well, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a shoebox, or at least once was, and whenever I masturbate, I come into it. I've had it for 2 or 3 years now, I think, so it has a fair amount of cum. It smells atrocious, and I tried to burn it once. What is it about these cum artifacts that it seems like they always wind up burning? When I lit it on fire, it was too damp due to the cum that it simply sizzled and didn't manage to actually light up. Turns out burning cum smells awful, so I had to spray it with a deodorant body spray just to get the old smell of burnt cum away. It also has some drenched paper stuck to it. That's pretty much it. But this is just the guy on Reddit saying things. Perhaps he's just spinning a fantastic yarn, right? Well, he has pictures, and you can see the burnt paper from various angles, several, probably hundreds of various landing sites. Edit. A lot of people are asking me, why? Well, I'm apparently a rather disturbed individual. But it just kind of happened. Bought new shoes and needed some place to come. Used the box. It just escalated from there. Kept using it each time. Telling myself I would throw it out soon. Never did. 2 or 3 years later, I still have it. It was planned or anything, it just happened. Fuck, this really exploded. 20,000 plus views of my Cumbox. Did not expect this. A while later, he would come with a final update of the status of the Cumbox. I often get PM'd about updates or current status of the box, generally a few a week. So, I might as well update this post, if anyone even gets linked here anymore. Current status, I have created life. Mold has begun to grow in the box, and has taken over a fair amount. Smells a bit worse, mainly due to a damper apartment, so it does not dry as fast. Hence the reason why the mold has begun. new picture. Meaning that this guy actually moved and took the box along with him. Congratulations to the proud father. I will never be rid of my need for it. I hate and love the box, just as I hate and love myself. Also, what the fuck? 2.7 million views. Never could have expected this outcome. And that's what he said 7 years ago. At this point, the album of the Cumbox has gained over 8 million views. And considering how much trouble this guy went through holding on to it for 3 years, bringing it with him to a new apartment, how much trouble the My Little Pony cum jar guy went through with multiple jars, saving a burned pony, burying it in his backyard after filling up the entire jar. I can't help but think that maybe this is just a compulsion that's more common than we realize. But I guess at the end of the day, that is a little bit more dedication to something than most people will ever experience in their life, so kudos. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, you'll probably also enjoy my classic vagina bacon video. I'm out of here.